Did you start recording?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, yeah. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our today's seminar. Thank you for joining to us. Today we are going to start our chapter 3 and the session 3. It will the amazing session today. My name is Rasim. I am a community leader at Co-op, and before starting, I would like to give the brief information about our agenda, and we will today we will take approximately 90 minutes for this webinar, and 10 minutes for kickoff and 10 minutes for introduction. After that, the speaker will introduce themselves, and they represent to us his presentation, his material, amazing, interesting material. After that, we will take a 5-minute break, and we will tend to our question and answer decision. And as I said that, we have the
Rasim, sharing screen, please.
Okay, just wait. I'm sharing screen, but just wait. Okay, wait a moment. Let me share.
No worries.
Okay, good. I put it. Okay. Okay, as I said that we have the kickoff 10 minutes and 10 minutes introduction, and after that our speaker will represent their presentation, and we will take 5-minute break, and then we will discuss your question, and the speaker will answer your questions. After that, we will do warm up approximately 5 minutes. As I said, my name is Rasim. I'm community leader at GoUp. Let me give the brief information about the GoUp. We are trying to build the next generation community. We are thinking that it's a low egoist, collaborative, competitive, and decentralized. It should be scalable and a funny community culture. And the structure and index that flow within community. And I want to introduce the next the co-hosted. He is the Vurgun Hacıyev, expert tech CEO, and he also the co-hosted today. He will talk with us together. Okay. In this slide, you're gonna find the information about the GoUp. As I said, that the session is recorded. After that, you can find the YouTube channel in meetup.com, GoUp Slack community, and LinkedIn and GitHub. So let's give our sponsors. Our sponsors, All My Taxes, and we are grateful thanks for their support, and brief information about our code of conduct. All session will in English. We'll talk in English. We are here to collaborate, learn, benefit, and contribute. We are here to echo despite our rules, accomplishments, and there is no any marketing, selling, and competing here. Now I would like to tell that please unmute all your microphone and on your cameras. Take the moment for us for taking photo. Let's stopping my sharing. Open just wait. Stop sharing. Normal. Okay. Please open your camera. Let me open. Okay.
You're gonna take a screenshot?
Yes, I'm taking now.
Don't be shy. Let's wait for others to join. Open your cams. Just let's give the moment.
Nice. Beautiful faces. Saturday morning, evening. Great.
Okay. One more. Again. Shahriar, what are you doing? Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
Jason is here.
Smile,
Okay.
please. Okay, good. Open, please, camera, and
Let's do one more.
don't be shy. And open camera and take a photo.
I think Humay should just join as well, and yeah, we can see.
Yeah, I did it.
Yes, it did.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Okay, go to the next slide. Now I want to turn over the.
We have a good. Okay, all old folks joining. Nice. Elvin, I see. Tural, nice. Jason. Was a while, guys. Okay, go ahead, Tracy.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay, thank you, everyone. Please now, Nihad, introduce yourself and turn to your presentation. Nihad, please.
Yeah, hi everyone. Let me share my screen.
Okay, let's stop my sharing. Just wait.
Okay. So yeah, I'm Nihad Abbasov. Today I will talk about being a software architect. A little bit information about me. I'm a software architect at Digital Classifieds. We are behind quite popular high-load projects in Azerbaijan, like Toolbars, Topaz, Binaz. I have been programming since 16 years old, pretty much as soon as I got my computer. I contribute to open source a lot. You can find me on GitHub by my handle nowcause. Some of you may know me by my Hacker News repo, which is quite popular with 45K stars and was mentioned in media. Besides, I have contributed to Rails, GitLab, and other major open source projects. In the past, I was a part of GitLab core team. I'm also the organizer and moderator of Golang Azerbaijan user group. Recently I have passed the AWS exam and become the AWS Certified Solutions Architect. You can reach me at Nihad at 42NA in. So, agenda. Yeah, during this presentation, I'll talk about definition of software architect, the responsibilities and the duties of software architect, the necessary skills for that role, and at the end, I'll provide some steps to become a software architect. So yeah, let's go. What's software architect? In simple terms, software architect is a blueprint for a technical system. It describes major components, relationships, how they interact with each other. If you read the Wikipedia, you'll find this definition. And who is a software architect? There is no exact definition of software architect. They vary by each organization, and the responsibilities and duties also vary in each organization. In common terms, software architect is a person who makes high-level technical decisions, picking up technical stack, making decisions on coding standards, tools, platforms. In some companies, that role could be also named as solutions architect, team lead, system architect, enterprise architect, application architect, or whatever. Here, I'll talk about our responsibilities and duties as a software architect in my organization. So the obvious one is obviously design of system architecture. Software architect should be able to take business requirements and come up with the best possible technical solution to help reach the goals of business. Of course, architecture design decisions are hard, which means that you need to have a solid software engineering experience in this field. I would say at least 6 years of software engineering experience. That's also why you wouldn't see books like How to Become a Software Architect in 21 Days and other bullshit. So bad decisions are expensive. That's why you should think about decisions very carefully. When you are building a system, you are basically building a fundament for your future application. And if you make poor decisions, it will cost a lot for a business. And also it would be a nightmare to make some changes to that architecture later. So yeah, how to make a right decision? Of course, for that you need to have some expertise. You need to know software design patterns, some common architecture patterns. You need to have experience with technical stack. You should know at least 2 or 3 programming languages. And also, of course, you should always make decisions and see which one suits more for your requirements, basically by trial and error. I already said about expertise. You need to have some understanding of common software design patterns and architecture. Yeah. And you should also consider business goals and requirements. You can't just go to the internet, read some article about architecture decision, for example, at Google, and implement it for your organization, because the team and the organization requirements are quite different, and you should, of course, consider this when picking up technical decisions making up. And you should know that every technical choice involves trade-offs. You can't just come up with a single technical solution that will benefit, that will fit all the requirements at 100%. Common decisions are picking up some language like TypeScript or JavaScript. It could be picking up some frameworks like React or Vue. Decisions on building application as using monolith or microservices architecture, and to pick up the right choice for your organization. You should quite carefully learn the business needs, know the your team, your expertise of your team, and for this, the quite common answer from software architect, it depends. Like which technology to choose, it depends. You should know that nothing is perfect. There is no silver bullet. So yeah, as I said, you should make decisions based on your team's expertise and business requirements. Also, there are some criteria that you could use. It depends. There are also quality attributes, which means there are some attributes that can help you to choose to make decisions based on these attributes. What are they? For example, AWS, the architected framework has 5 qualities. They are operational excellence, security, reliability, performance efficiency, cost for your organization. You can't just make decision on one of them and neglect the others. You should always find the perfect balance between each. There are also other quality attributes, such as maintainability, scalability, and deployability. You should consider a lot of options when making decisions. So these quality attributes will help you to make the right choice for your system or designing your system. There is also quite more quality attributes. You can see a list of. You can see a lot of them at this Wikipedia link. And another question is, what quality attributes do you focus on? The answer is, it depends. Yeah, it depends on the type of software you build. Depends on tech stack. And as I already said, it's a balance. You need to make a perfect balance between each quality attributes. And these quality attributes differs from organization and organization. For example, in some organization, the cost of implementation could be not so important. For example, and in some other organization, it could be more important, and some organization could focus more on security, and in some organizations you could neglect it at some kind. So yeah, you should choose. You should find out what quality attributes matter for your organization and make architectural decisions based on these quality attributes. Another responsibility of a software architect is building design specifications and system-related documentation, which means you should document infrastructure, each component of infrastructure, document components of your system and how they interact with each other. Yeah, of course, you should also document architectural decisions and how do you do this by listing assumptions and constraints, and which code attributes did you choose to focus on, listing with code attributes, and also you should answer to a question why. Why this technology, why not the alternatives, and yeah. Use version control to store the documentation because it allows to go back and see how the system and architecture changed over time. And the most importantly, ensure that documentation is always up to date. I know a lot of companies that build a product and document it, but after the product goes online production, the documentation gets very stale. Yeah, the software architect should always ensure that documentation is always up to date and describes the latest architecture of a system. Another responsibility of a software architect is leading the full development life cycle, which means that software architect is responsible for planning, from planning to deployment of product, and should ensure quality of process in general. One way of ensuring the quality of software is doing code reviews. Code reviews are very important. They help with they help to see that the right patterns and software decisions are implemented in your code. And yeah, how do you evaluate the code quality? It depends on some criteria. In each organization, it differs. In my organization, we are based on, so basically when doing the code reviews, you watch out for compliance with established architecture, design patterns, standards. So that's one of the code quality criteria. The another one is good selection of third-party dependencies. The software architect should ensure that the choices of third-party dependencies are well maintained, and there is fair of both and well tested. Good layered architecture, which means each that the responsibilities are not weak across layers, and single source of tools. So, for example, when you need to change something somewhere, you change it in one place, and most of the time it's sufficient. It also keeps the code dry. Another criteria is psychometric complexity. You should be sure that it's not too high. Of course, there are some tools like static analyzers that help with it, but yeah, you should also ensure about that. Good use of commenting, which means that the that the code relies on that the code is quite understandable, but if there are some tricky parts, it should be documented with comments. And advanced techniques, hacks, and are used only where it makes sense. Yeah. Shortcomings are highlighted in the README. If there are any shortcomings, and high test code quality. Tests are very important. The test should assert only one thing as it's possible at a time, and test code quality should also be high. Maintainability should be taken into account when writing tests. Yeah. How to become a software architect? Of course, you need to gain experience as a software engineer. You can't be you can just graduate your technical university and start your career as a software architect. You need to have some solid experience as a software engineer. You should work with different technologies, have understanding of code and the systems, to know at least 2 or 3 programming languages, programming patterns, and so on. So yeah, basically you should have broad knowledge of various technologies, because as a software architect, you should have software architects should see the big picture of a system. Also keep that in mind. Besides that, software architect should be also should know the business domain very well. Yeah. Very important thing is to learn new things constantly, because software architecture varies, and there is no just a single one way of doing things. Technology changes, new languages, frameworks, techniques, approaches. You should always stay up to date. So how do you keep up with that? You should have curiosity. As a software architect, you should always be curious to know how the system is implemented from the start to the end. You should know how the code gets deployed, for example, how it gets executed on the systems, and so on. You should also have some self-discipline, because it's very important to learn small stuff each day when learning or reading a book in one day, and not learning other days. Follow a routine, just as an advice. For example, 30 minutes per day, or a couple hours every other day, whatever fits you. The idea is you should you should learn constantly and practice and experiment with new technologies or some old or quite popular approaches and see how they would fit your organization. And if there are better ways to improve architecture or systems in your organization. You could gain the experience by doing also pet projects or by contributing to open source. You can pick up, for example, new technology like React and play with it and see if it would fit your next project or not, and if it is worthwhile to put into your organization. Follow the tech news. It's very important to stay up to date. There are various communities, there are subreddits that you can follow. You can watch the hacker news. You can watch videos on YouTube, follow blogs on Medium. There are a lot of companies like Netflix, which document the technical decisions and some architectural decisions. And I think it's important to read and learn from them. You can also follow some well-known people on Twitter and subscribe to mailing lists. Yeah, there's a lot of ways to stay up to date and catch up. But you should remember that you can't read it all. Be selective. Don't read everything because it will not help you. In fact, you missed a lot of stuff, and that's okay. As a software architect, you should know that the more you learn, the less you know. And yeah, you cannot also adopt every new thing, even if you like some technology like Vue.js, you can just adopt it because you like it. Just keep that in mind. Learning is fun. Learning keeps things interesting. So keep on learning. And it also helps to avoid legacy platforms by learning new approaches and techniques. You could refactor your systems and implement new approaches that would fit your organization and probably save some money. And yeah, soft skills are very important because when you are a software architect, you are dealing more with people than with code. You are taking business requirements from stakeholders and coming up with technical solutions. So you should be able to communicate properly with stakeholders. Be helpful. Being software architect means that you should mentor developers, help them, explain them the tasks or system architecture. You also assist DevOps, for example. So yeah, be helpful. Be open-minded because, as I said, there is no one way of doing things. So be open to feedback, and if if it is a good feedback, you should consider it. And speak their language, which means when you are talking with product owners or stakeholders, you shouldn't use technical words. You should be able to explain hard technical stuff by using simple terms. So yeah. Yeah, that's it. Yep. Thanks. Good luck.
Okay, thank you, Nihad, for your interesting speech. And now we have a 5 minutes break, but if you want to ask some question, we want to turn directly to question answer session, and let's discuss together. If you, all of you want to do our, continue without the break, let's go. Sako, guys?
You all can write your opinion whether you need the break or not in the chat below. And I also want to thank Nihad Abbasov for his very informative and interesting speech. Thank you. It was really very interesting for me, even if I am not technical student, but it was really so informative. Thank you.
Do you have some questions to Nihad? Because we have the couple of questions and we need to listen to our audience. After that, we will give our questions.
I think I can start with a question. Nihad, I think would be interesting for the community to know that building the stars, yeah, like, because like it's first thing you have this famous rapper where like 42,000 stars. So how you build it up, where you needed to go out and write about it and then pick it up, or it's just over the night somebody posted in let's say Hacker News and it became like that. So just a bit of story behind it would be interesting, and then how you come to that idea. And second thing, I saw that Google developers, there was your one of the other repo, GitLab, got picked up. So did you apply it, what it is about, and any other these kind of open source, let's say, programs that you can share with us that folks can go and apply, and let's say somebody has a new repo and they're trying to pick it up. So thank you.
Thanks. As for Hacker scripts repo, actually it's a long story, but in short, it was late evening. I was reading Medium, and when I saw the article about the guy that implemented scripts, and I liked the story, but there were no actual scripts. I decided that it would be a good idea to implement these scripts, so the story would be kinder to. So I wrote these scripts, posted them at Hacker News. It gained attraction. People generally liked it. They submitted pull requests. It was mentioned in the media. So yeah, that's it. As for GitHub, I maintain GitHub library, which is which interacts with GitLab based API. It's a client, and one of contributors, if I remember correctly, applied to Google Summer Code, and so yeah, the repository was mentioned there.
Nice. So it was as a project picked up as a mentor. You were for Google Summer of Code. The project was picked up.
Yeah, like that.
And students join and you selected. Okay, because I was from the student side for Google Summer of Code. That's why, yeah. Now I want to switch to that side as well. So, nice.
I also have one question. What is the most or was the most complex project you have worked on? And please tell me about some goods or bads in it.
As for complexity, working with legacy systems is a pain in the head. So I would say migration of old database records, migration from old framework to new version. It was a big one. As for challenging or interesting ones, we have recently implemented a service for authentication of our users. Generally, we have 4 projects, and for that 4 projects, we needed to implement a single sign-on. We have picked, I have picked serverless architecture for that. We have used AWS Lambda, and yeah, basically the backend is a simple API which is hosted on AWS Lambda, and the clients are front-end application, single-page application which is written with React, and mobile applications which interact with this API. Yeah, basically the system works that way. User enters his phone number. The API, the backend asynchronously sends SMS code, verification code to a user, and when the user enters the code, he authenticates into our project. The project was very interesting because it was the first time I worked with AWS Lambda and used serverless architecture. Yeah. Generally, everything went well, and the client was very satisfied with results.
Great, thank you. I wanted to ask one more thing. Which programming language are you professionally in, and which of them you will suggest to the youngest generation to be successful?
I work with Ruby and JavaScript. I have also experience with Golang. As for learning new language, I would recommend starting with some dynamic languages like Python or Ruby, or maybe JavaScript because it's very popular and it works everywhere.
I've got a question as well, Nihad. Can you tell us one of the interesting production incidents that you've experienced?
Let me think about it.
Zero downtime.
I just assume that it's not the case, so therefore directly ask the question with the assumption that you have had an incident.
We have incidents with Elasticsearch in the past. It was about indexes and sharding. So yeah.
No production down completely. Nothing.
No, we have incidents so and then, but they are not big incidents. They are minor interruptions, and also they don't interrupt the life of our services.
That's very cool. Thank you.
Yeah, I have a general question. Yeah, I know any technical question can be answered it depends or by trade-off. But anyway, I'm a software engineer, not an architect. The question is, let's say I have well-written functional requirements and quality attributes. So where should I start to putting the main stone of the software architecture?
First of all, you should pick up business requirements. If there are any questions regarding them, ask management, then do some research and pick up quality attributes that fit your organization, which fits more for your organization. And based on these quality attributes, you make decisions which technology to use.
Okay, thank you. The second question is, may I ask more than one question?
Of course, yes.
For sure.
Yes, of course.
Yeah. As an architect, how
First one is free, second one we're gonna charge.
Okay. Yeah. Let's say we have an agile team. How architect is fit with agile team? How it's gonna be work with agile?
With the team, software architect should ensure the quality of application and general development processes. If there are some blockers or interruptions, and disturb developed the software architect should react and help to overcome blockers in development processes. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, thank you.
Hey, Nihad, this is Vivek. I have a quick question for you. I'm an engineering manager, so I was wondering if you had any suggestions or tips about how to have a good relationship between a software architect and an engineering manager, like what you would consider as key points and what are the things that I should keep in mind as a manager, and you as an architect, what are the things you can do to make the relationship better?
Before Nihad jump to the answer, thank you so much, Vivek, for joining. Just quickly reminder, tomorrow Vivek will speak with us, and he will as a speaker for prepare coding interview webinar. And Vivek has other community in Discord, SDA skills. Later, I think we're gonna post also in the chat. Please feel free to join, and it will be exciting to see you. Thanks so much for joining, Vivek. And I now let Nihad you take the question. Thank you.
Yeah, generally, the software architect should help developers, should ensure that developers understand the system design and that developers know what they are doing. Yeah. Also, the software architect should hold everyone in team accountable, manage technical issues, yeah, and probably explain the technical decisions to the developers. Assist,
Thank you so much. I think the piece that I wanted to also double click to make sure that we all understand as such is that I think I see the architect and the manager as partners in the equation, we sometimes play each other's role to some extent, like the engineering manager will jump in to do a little bit of the architecture elements, but I've also seen the architect be a coach and mentor for junior engineers and help with the architecture of the team, but also help bring the engineers up. So that aspect of it, I think, is a shared responsibility. If this relationship works very well, then it's a fantastic thing. And if it doesn't work, then it's both the engineering manager and the architect's responsibility to solve the differences and make it work. I mean, it's a very solid partnership. Thank you,
Yeah,
Nihad.
if I may, Vivek, I as an individual contributor, I would also say that trust is very important, and I would expect the manager or the people manager to expect technical contributors in their decisions, technical decisions, and not try to micromanage. That's very important.
Yeah.
That I expect from my manager as an individual contributor.
I have also one small addition, and I think sometimes being architect to do stuff for in 10 minutes take like 10 years of experience. So as I said, that it's not about the hour you put, like, I think it's, yeah, that's from management perspective. Yeah, just even sometimes coming and saying pick one technology over other, it may take like just 5 or 10 minutes, like as contribution, but it can make a bigger difference. So it's not about, yeah, the houring. I think what Elvin was saying that.
What I wanted to imply was the trust. Like some managers, especially in their early careers, especially when they are coming from engineering background, they are having hard times to detach themselves from technical decisions and focus on people management. So they tend to they tend to contribute to the technical decisions, but it doesn't turn out well usually, because they as a manager they have all the other responsibilities and they are kind of detached from they don't have the same context. So they I think they should just trust the person that they hired as a tech lead and let them do their work. So that's what I meant by trust being very important.
I have a question. Can I? Hi guys. Yes, sorry, I just joined a couple minutes ago. So maybe you answered to this question. Sorry, someone is.
No, just nice to meet you. Orhan is our website front-end engineer, and he's coming to lead it. Thank you so much for joining. Yeah, nice.
Thank you, guys. Yeah, sorry, I was busy a bit, but I think I'm back. Yeah, I have a question about system design. Like as we know in system design, let's say in some, grokking like system design articles and so on, they write about like a lot about calculation. Let's say in your table there is a lot of columns, and they calculate our data like bytes of each row, and they calculate all requests and they calculate all storage and so on. And the question is, you work with, you calculate it really, or it's only in these articles?
Sometimes you calculate the general cost of implementation, calculate how much hours will be spent on implementing this system. There's also AWS framework, which helps to evaluate the decisions based on 5 pillars like cost optimization, reliability. Yeah.
Thanks. And as you mentioned about AWS and about Lambdas, you said, what's the what the bad in Lambdas, and I mean, as functionally, it's great. I use it also, but for some long-term process, as I know, it costs a lot for this kind of things. What do you
Yeah, it generally it wasn't designed for long-term processes. It's good for small short-term tasks like batch jobs or doing some API responses, simple like yeah.
But how you architect it? Like if you have some long-term like process, for example, some task that's running on your like on your machine or anywhere, like you trigger this process, this task, and it takes like 10-15 minutes to have this response. Like how you handle it?
Yeah, first of all, you can't deploy long-running tasks to AWS Lambda. There is limit on how long the function will be run. It will be timeout just for long running processes. I would use something like Kubernetes or AWS Fargate and deploy there. Yeah, Fargate uses serverless architecture, so you just pay for what you use.
Like on another machine, right? Something like EC2, and you will just run it.
Okay.
Thank you.
As you can see, Nihad is not that much speaker friendly, but thanks, Nihad. Now you're trying your best. Yeah, it's but you guys should say that's, but just try as many questions, and you can also, in case you know, yeah, like as a software architect, in case later you can also take offline questions. But
I have one question. I think it's kind of interesting.
it's the third one.
I will
I'm
charge
counting.
you later. I will pay you. So how did it come to your mind that you have to be software architect? How did you make that decision?
First of all, you can't just jump to another company and jump from being a software engineer in one company and being a software architect in another company. Where you basically the way you become a software architect is you get promoted in the company that you are working, and I was the guy which most suited for that position because I lead engineers, we lead the team, and was the most experienced senior software engineer in our team. So yeah, it was the right decision to make me a software architect. And also our team grows, so there was a need for this position.
Okay, thank you.
Hey, I have a question.
Basically,
Am I audible?
sorry?
Yeah, I said I had a question. So I was just checking whether I'm audible.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so I think the most challenging aspect of this software architects, or I mean, somebody who is there in the architecture field, is kind of convincing about the solution, or I mean, about the design. I think in a lot of organizations, I see a lot of talking heads, So how do you go about it? So I mean, I currently, I mean, generally face this challenge as well, wherein I see a lot of talking heads rather than, I mean, though they might not know be not ones who are really providing the final solution, or they are not a part of the solution itself, but a lot of talking heads. So I mean, what is the general uh, I mean uh, strategy I mean you guys follow to kind of deal with this challenge actually in day-to-day life?
You just take technical solution and try to explain it in easy terms, like you would explain it to your grandmother, so they would understand without using any technical terms or jargons and so on. Yeah, that's it.
If
anyone,
I mean, I have a question.
go ahead.
Do you have any? Okay, okay. Uh, uh, Again, sorry about that. I was late and I didn't see your slides. Maybe you answered to that. You said you used React and so on for your projects. So do you do any like front-end system design, or it's only like system design, like high level?
Yeah, generally, I design all system architecture and their components. There are various components, and so yeah, the front end is one of them. Is just a part of our architecture of system design. As for using front end, as for using React, we have recently implemented React application which interacts with our backends. Basically, client server. It's a single-page application which sends requests to our GraphQL. Yeah.
So you work. I mean, you design like component architecture of the front end, and also all data API, like data store of front end part, or like you just separate with the other guys.
The software decisions are made by developers, but in general, how the system should work, how the components should interact, how the front end and server should interact between each other, and how the system should be deployed. These decisions are made by me, software architect.
So, and how you solve the problem when, let's say, developer like doesn't want to work with that solution or with that tech stack you choose, or
the decisions to choose some tools or frameworks don't we don't make these decisions unanimously. We take into account the experience of our engineers. We gain their feedback and do some small experiment with technology before using it in our real project. So yeah, in that case, the developers were very glad, and they voted to use React.
Yeah, great. Thank you. And last question, just I mean, I know your repository, like hacker script, like long time ago. I saw that, and I have a question. What happened with Kumar? You had you had script like Kumar asshole, and what is that?
Yeah.
Do you have any new like scripts like name asshole and?
No, yeah, it's just a fiction that I implemented scripts for. Yeah, just based on this story.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you. Thank you for repository also.
Yes.
If anyone have question, you may write it down in the chat below or simply open your camera and microphone. Don't be shy. So I think it's time to wrap up. Rasim, please.
Okay. Now is hearing my voice? Are you hearing
Yes,
me?
yes.
Yes,
Yes,
okay,
yes.
you're back.
sorry. My microphone was touched. So whenever we try to analyze our speaker, Nihad, we found that amazing how to say experience from your side. I have the two questions, which is the one for the motivation for who are started new in this field, and the one of the about the your GitHub account. Let me first turn to GitHub account. Whenever we analyze you, we saw that in Google open source project you have been as a winner with your Narcos GitLab project, and I want to hear about that project a little a bit detail, and the scripts in Java, Narcos, hacker scripts, the GitLab repository. I saw that there plenty of the programming languages where you have already write some scripts. The audience, especially students who are starting the first in this field, are interested that in that actions, your experience. It's the first questions. After answer, I will give the next one.
Yeah. Yeah, about GitHub. So yeah, it happened that it participated in Google open source program, and one of the contributors to my repository, GitHub, nominated as a winner of Google open source peer bonus. That's how my repository got mentioned in Google open source blog. As for hacker scripts repo, there are many scripts which were later implemented by users, and the users contributed basically in every language, I think.
Okay, thank you. But the second question is about the roadmap to be architect in software field. Generally, it's coming from the learning part, then junior and senior and etc. But I want to focus to that technology and how the students, how the persons should do to be a software architect in your mind?
Technology varies. There are some cloud architects, there are some mobile architects, but general idea is the same. You start as a junior software engineer and learn from there, go up, middle and senior, and after that you can go up as a software architect. For that you should know general software programming patterns, architecture decisions, solutions. So it isn't about some technology. It's about general approach. Software.
Thank you, Nihad. Nurlana, let's check the chat, and if you have question, do you have any question to our speaker?
I think there is no any question, but if anyone has any question, feel free. We are waiting for your question and want you to know more about software architecture. If there's no question, we can just wrap up. And if anyone missed the session, we will upload it on our YouTube channel. You may find it there. So no worries.
Sounds good. I just wanted to thank you, Nihad, for accepting, and it was really amazing. And he is quite active in Slack. In case if you guys have any question, you can reach him directly. I'm sure that he'll be more than happy to take it. And we will also redirect you some folks, because we have some startups reaching out with architecture, and we will just hopefully you will find some time to talk to them. Thank you so much. Thank you, Rasim. Thank you, Nurlan. I appreciate it. Amazing job. Thank you.
Thanks everyone for coming to our webinar today. Thank you, Nihad, so much for your time, for your patience when answering to our questions, and good luck in your job.
Thank you for everyone. Thank you.